getting funded to you feels impossible, it's not always just your strategy. It might also be your behavior. Funding prop firms, they don't pay traders who overtrade, who chase trades, or they just blow their drawdown. In this video, I will show you the 4 rules that I follow as a funded trader and that can help you as well to pass these challenges and become a funded trader yourself. So the first tip is trade like you're already funded. When you're in a challenge, you're most likely desperate. You're pushing trades, you're oversizing, you're risking way too much, 4 setups, and that's exactly why most people fail. What changed everything for me was trading the challenges as if I'm already funded. So the same patience, the same rules, the same risk management. If you feel like you need to make it today, you're probably already trading it wrong. It's really all about consistent gains with the same rules, the same risk, having the same patience, taking the same setups, not going for these home run trades and thinking that this one home run trade will get you to pass the account, or this one trade might actually have half of the account target profit already hit. It's really about consistent trades over and over and over again, and slowly getting to that take profit level. Sometimes you might feel like, oh, I just missed out on this trade. I'm gonna try and force another setup, or you had a loss and you're gonna try and revenge trade and break your own rules basically. So it really all comes down to just one thing, which is being consistent and following your rules blindly to the T. Tip number 2 is overtrading is really the account killer. Now let's be honest, like most blown accounts usually come after 1 or 2 of really good trades. And this only happens because you have 1 or 2 wins and your confidence just goes through the roof. And what happens when you have a lot of confidence is you will take on a lot of extra trades, because I know this feeling, I've had it in the past, where you think that, I just had 1 or 2, or I had a win streak of a couple of days, and you feel invincible, and you just think that every time you click the button, the market is going to go your way. And what just happens after that is that basically you just take on a lot of extra trades that are most likely not going to be your exact A+ setup, because you're going to be forcing it because your confidence is through the roof and you just think that everything will go in your direction and you're basically invincible. But the market humbles very quickly. And usually when you take all these extra trades because you feel invincible, that you will just violate, first of all, your own trading rules of taking too many trades in a day, and not taking A+ setups, just forcing trades because you think you're going to win anyways, as you did for the past 3 trades or 4 trades, whatever your win streak is. And also you could actually violate the rules of the prop firm. So for me, it's quite simple. I allow myself to have 3 losses in one single day. This is just my own personal rule. I never really hit that anymore, but that would be my limit, where I would say, okay, I stop trading now, I close my laptop, and I just go away and I wait till the next day, which doesn't happen anymore. I don't even remember the last time I actually had 3 losses in one day. But that is just my own personal limit. For you, it could be 1 loss. For you, it could be 2 losses. It could be 4 losses, depending on how much you risk as well per trade. Because even if I would have 3 losses in one session, I would still not hit the daily loss limit of the prop firm. And another big rule for me is, as soon as I have a winning trade, this could be the first trade of the day, it could be the second, it could be the third. As soon as I hit a winning trade where I hit my take profit, or I took some profits out of the market and I end the day in green, I just close my laptop and I'm done for the day. Okay, I walk away. I'm not gonna force more setups because, oh yeah, I already made profits today, so I have some buffer that I can use to take on more trades. No, for me personally, that hasn't never worked out. And as soon as I have a winning trade, I just close everything and I walk away and I enjoy the rest of my day. Boredom is not really a reason to trade, because sometimes the market might be very slow, there could be a lack of volatility in the market, or it's just far away from actually clean levels to trade off, and you just might be forcing trades in the middle of nowhere, in no man's land, where it's way too risky to be risking any trades. And I know as a scalper it's pretty easy to get into that, because you only really need small moves in the market to have a winning trade. But it's also important to know the location and the context of the market, and then obviously the confirmation. So if the trade is, or the price is not near your level of interest, just wait till it hits. Okay, it might not hit in the first 30 minutes, or maybe it hits 1 or 2 hours into the market open. So it's easy to get bored as a scalper and try to force setups because you want to be in something. I know the scalper mentality, and I know how it is, but it's really important to not think of, don't have to do anything right now, it's far away from my level, this is boring. Just wait for your levels to get hit and be patient, and only risk your capital on the good setups. Discipline isn't shown how much you trade, it's actually shown how much you don't trade. This brings us to tip number 3, which is protect the drawdown as it's your actual job. Okay, so if you're trading prop firms, depending on which firm you trade, they all have different kinds of daily loss limits and maximum loss limits. So as soon as you buy challenges from a certain prop firm, just make sure to really study and memorize their drawdown rules and adjust your risk management to their rules. Okay, so let's say you allow yourself to have 3 losses in a day, which is what I do, and their maximum daily loss limit is $1,000. Well, try to keep your risk per trade under $350 per trade. Okay, I personally just use $200 for a funding challenge. I have pretty decent risk to reward trades, so even with a couple of good trades, I can already get very close to my take profit level. So you really need to find the balance between what is your average risk to reward on your trades and how much is the daily loss limit and the maximum loss limit, what is your win rate, and just try to find the right balance of risk depending on all these factors, depending on the prop firm obviously that you're trading. In these prop firms, the daily loss limit is really sacred because you don't want to be violating their rules. Don't want to have just a stupid risk management and just completely lose the account just because of that one stupid mistake, which you can easily avoid just by choosing a different risk. And also, you can have bad trading days. It happens to everyone, but one bad trading day shouldn't affect your overall weekly or monthly performance. It just shouldn't. And if it does, then that just means that your risk to reward is not good enough, your wins are not big enough, your losses are too big. And also you need to maybe look at your win rate, because it's all about finding the right balance between the win rate and the risk to reward. There are traders that are very profitable with one-to-one risk to reward strategy, but their win rate obviously is extremely high. Some other traders have an average risk to reward of 1 to 5, but their win rate is maybe 35% or 40%. And you can be profitable with all different kinds of models. You just need to find the right balance for you between win rate and the risk to reward. A key thing to let you stay in the game longer is to keep your losses a lot smaller, obviously, than your wins. This goes back to finding the right balance between the risk to reward and the win rate. But then obviously me, for example, as an order flow trader, I use the Bookmap. So I scalp, very small moves. I only look for 10 points, 12 points moves, and my stop loss is usually 3, 4, 5 points. So I'm really looking for very small moves in the market. And it might just happen that I have a 4-point stop loss. This actually happened to me this week, where I had a 5-point stop loss actually on this one trade. And for me, the trade was invalidated after it was already 2 points in drawdown. Okay, I was about 2 points in drawdown, not even halfway my full stop loss. And for me, just reading the Bookmap, it was not valid anymore. I wouldn't look to trade this. Even if I wasn't in the trade, I wouldn't look to enter this trade anymore, because for me, it was invalidated. So I just closed the trade manually, about halfway my stop loss. So instead of having a full loss, I only had half a loss, which obviously is very helpful to me, because that just means that I make my losses even smaller. And that doesn't always happen. Obviously, sometimes I hit my full stop loss. But in this case, it was just very clear to me that my setup was invalidated. So I just closed the trade manually. And instead of having a full $200 loss, I only had a $100 loss, which makes a big difference in the end. And the truth is, prop firms, they don't pay the best traders. They pay the traders who are the most controlled ones. And this brings us to the last tip, number 4, which is that missed trades don't really exist. I know this might sound weird, but it is really true. I know from personal experience that missing out on a trade really sucks. You waiting for your level to get hit, you finally, price comes to your level and it reacts from there, but you don't really find an entry. Maybe it's just not clear to you how to enter at this level. Maybe the entry confirmation is just not good enough for you, and it just flies in your direction, and you missed it, and you missed out on a 4-hour trade. And you were like, oh damn, why didn't I just click the button, and it wasn't the cleanest, but I should have risked it, this and that, blah, blah, blah. I know how it feels. The most important thing is that you realize that there are setups pretty much every single day, or every 2 days, there are plenty of setups, and a missed trade, it doesn't really exist because you missed it for a reason. Maybe the volatility in the market was not good enough, maybe it was too volatile, maybe there was news in the next 2 minutes, maybe the entry confirmation just wasn't there for you. Maybe you were scared of losing because you maybe had come from a losing streak. Whatever reason, there could be a million reasons why you didn't take the trade. And if you missed it, there's a reason for it. Just realize why that is and why you missed it. The most important thing is what comes after it, is that you don't try to chase it, okay? Because chasing a trade means that you're gonna enter the market a lot further instead of the actual reversal. Your stop loss is gonna be a lot bigger, your risk reward is gonna be a lot lower. So that's a dangerous game to play, to chase these trades that you missed. And I know that FOMO, well, the fear of missing out, is a big thing in trading, and I used to have that obviously in the beginning as well. But then I just realized after having losses by chasing trades that I'd rather just not do anything, not risk my capital, instead of risking it on a not a good setup, to be honest. So I'd rather not have that loss and have that money in the trading account. Try to memorize that if the trade is gone, it's gone, okay? There's nothing you can do about it. Don't try to chase it. Don't try to make back the gains that you would have made on this trade on a next trade that isn't clean, just because you feel like the market owes you that 3R or 4R for the day because you missed that original move. Just keep in mind that there will always be another setup in the market. The truth is, if you feel like you missed something, it's probably because you're not supposed to be in it. If you focus on execution, on patience, and on survival, these funding accounts and the payouts will just come as a side effect. But if you just chase these payouts, then most likely it will never come. So anyways, guys, these were the 4 tips that I could share with you as a funded trader on how to trade these funding challenges and how to actually become a funded trader. There's obviously a lot more to it, but I would say that these ones are the 4 main tips that I could give you to achieve those goals, because that's really what helped me into passing these challenges and actually becoming a funded trader with TopStep. So anyways, if you liked this video and you thought it was helpful, just give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments down below what you struggle most with trading prop firms and passing these funding challenges. So we'll see you in the next video.